Hello everyone, this is Dr. Achal and I welcome you again in our subject module titled as Services Marketing. In our previous discourse, we have dealt with the concept of the internal marketing, and in our today's elaboration, we will be further elaborating on the concept of the internal marketing, that is whether it is really pragmatic enough for the organization to look into for the aspect of the internal marketing, what the important aspects need to be taken into consideration. And if the organization or the establishment, they are not paying out due attention towards this particular concept of the internal marketing, what are the consequences that they have to that they have to bear into the functionality. So, we will be elaborating on the concept of the internal marketing in our today's discussion. Moving on to the slide. Now, this slide says that is internal marketing approach useful? Now, some researchers like Rafiq and Ahmed, they have concluded that there can be no doubt that the internal marketing concept has a major role to play in the making employees customer conscious. They felt that the concept of treating employee as customer was problematic for two of the reasons. Now, different theories, different set of thoughts, they are coming out with their own notions. Whether to go in for adoption of this particular concept of internal marketing to be feasible enough, but we know that the concept of internal marketing, it's acting as one of the important component of the whole concept of the holistic marketing concept, because we have to just apply and we have to just go in for that broader aspect, the broader aspect to take care of the needs and the wants and to fulfill out the desires and demands of the people who are not only your target audience, but apart from that, the stakeholders who are there in the environment, who are very much being interested enough towards moving out your functionality. In one way or the other, they are giving out their own inputs. In one way or the other, they are very much being concerned towards the growth and the prosperity of your establishment because of certain reasons. Like we know that the competitors, definitely they will be they will be very much being interested enough to know out your moves, then only the reactive strategy can be contracted by them. Similarly, the government the government agencies, they are also very much being treated as an external stakeholder, and they are they are being interested enough to know out your revenues and your sales volume, so that they will be imposing out the levies and the taxes accordingly, depending upon the profit level that you are trying to earn upon. So, the different stakeholders, they have their own benefit, they have their own interest towards knowing out the enhancement, towards knowing out the way you are performing out in this competitive scenario. Now, there is some school of thoughts that is well written here in the slide, that the thought that is being generated by Rafiq and Ahmed, they have concluded that no doubt that the internal marketing concept has a very important role to play in making out the employees being treated as a customer conscious. But they have felt that the concept of treating employee as a customer was definitely problematic in two of the sense. We are seeing that in the concept of the internal marketing, we have to just take into account that the employees should be treated as a customer regarding out the role play that they are performing, regarding out the job positions that they are holding. That should be in consonance with their expectations, their capabilities and expertise. And furthermore, the needs in the form of the pay and packages, the needs in the form of the monetary benefits, apart from the monetary benefits, the non-monetary benefits, the fringe benefits should also be given, and the allowances should also be given in order to just boost up their productivity and the motivation, the morale level. But these we are saying that the treating out the employees as a customer of your organization, there can be a different kind of different kind of problems may arise, as has been said by Rafiq and Ahmed, and they are quoting out two of the reasons not to just treat out the employees as your customer. They have said that the problems with the internal marketing approach are the products, that is the very first, the products being sold to the employees, that is their job satisfaction, generally have to be bought by the service workers. Elaborating on this concept, they have added that although they may enter into a discussion about the precise nature and the form of the role of the employer presents them with, ultimately they have no real choice but to accept. The alternative would be to lose the job altogether. In the normal marketing situations, the customers not only have a range of products to choose from, but can succeed not to buy at all without serious consequences. Now, the problem of treating the employees as in a customer, it is being quoted by Rafiq and into two of the way. They have said that the products that is being sold to the employees, here we are treating out the products in the form of the nature, the job description. The job description is being treated as a product for the employee of your establishment. So, we are seeing that the products being sold to the employees in the form of the role, in the form of the position that they are being supposed to perform, that they are being expected to work upon, that should be of their own expertise, that should be in consonance with their expertise and their skill, that should be in consonance with their providing them more job satisfaction, and generally they have to be bought by the service workers. So, we know that each and every human being, they have their own capability, they have their own expertise, they are good enough in a specific kind of field. So, depending upon their capabilities and the expertise and the talent and the resources, the nature of the job description should be given out to them. We are saying that although they may enter into a discussion about the precise nature and the form of the role the employer presents them with, ultimately they have no real choice but to accept. Definitely, if someone is working in your establishment, in your organization, in any of the area, in any of the firm, they don't have any kind of alternative options to go with it until and unless there exists certain good kind of opportunity to move upon or to switch upon in the near future. So, whatever thing, if they are not having alternative options to go with, they have to just accept the role play, the offers, the nature of the position that is being offered to them as an employee in the establishment, even if they are not being capable enough to handle that particular kind of thing. So, this is in a problematic situation that is being seen here and that is being talked here enough by Rafiq and Ahmed. That is, if the employee or if your human manpower is not being taken due care of regarding the job analysis and the job description is not properly done in your establishment, definitely the right manpower or the right human will not be placed at the right job at the right time. So, we are seeing that this is in a problematic situation in which the people or the employee who is working as an important asset for the establishment, they will be having no real choice but to accept with the things that is being offered to them in the form of a particular specific job or the particular specific task being assigned to them. Now, if they are not very much being good enough, if they are not accepting those kind of role plays, those kind of job positions being offered to them, definitely they have to lose out this particular kind of opportunity altogether. So, this is a real problematic issue that is being faced by the employees in your establishment. If you are treating the employees as providing them contentment and you are treating the nature of the job being offered to your employees in the form of the internal product. We are elaborating that in the normal marketing situations, the customers not only have a range of products to choose from, but definitely we are seeing that in the case of the internal employees, the people are or your job positions that you are trying to offer to the employee, they are being treated as an internal product, they are being treated as a products more being suited enough to meet out the expectations of the employees who are working in your establishment. But what to say about the customers or the consumers who are operating in this competitive scenario as in an external form? So, meeting out their needs, fulfilling out the expectations in the external environment, because these are the people who are real being talked of as an end users. They are being talked of as an external customers. So, we can say that they have a different kind of alternative options to move in for, because in this competitive scenario we are experiencing a number of alternative brands for the same specific product. Even if with the same specific brand we are having a different kind of sub-variants to move upon. So, in the case of the external customers, they are having different kind of alternative brands to go in for. If they are not being satiated enough with one particular purchase process, definitely they will be moving on with another alternative ones to go upon, depending upon the quality and the discretionary part that they want to dispose regarding the acquisition of a specific offering within a disposition of a specific monetary price. So there is a different kind of range to move in for, and the different kind of range definitely will be associated with different kind of consequences. I mean, we are seeing that yes, the external customers, they are having different kind of alternative options to move in for, and according to their own discretion they may go in for purchasing and consumption of a specific brand best suited to them. Now further elaborating on the concept, we are seeing that the idea that all customers, internal and external, they are equally important in the service organization appears to stand on its head. One most fundamental axiom of marketing, that the external customer has primacy. Definitely it is a very important idea wherein we are saying that each and every customer working in your establishment, maybe in the form of the internal customer, maybe in the form of the external customer, they both are equally playing an important role in your organization, and the very important maxim that we are treating the customers as in a pivotal role, the customers are playing as in a very pivotal role, we are treating out the customers as in a kingpin. That particular philosophy has to be borne into mind by the service marketers, by the service organization, because here even if the employees are being talked of as an internal employees who are being talked of as an internal customers, they do have to be paid due attention, they should have to be paid due attention as compared to meeting out the expectations and aspirations of the external customers who are being talked of as in a very who are being talked of as in a playing a very important pivotal role in the economy. The second concept, the third concept, at its extreme, if the employees were to behave as if they were the most important customers in the organization, they might place demands on the organization which would lead to a commercially untenable situation. So the third point, it is highlighting on the fact that at its extreme, if the employees were to behave as if they were from the most important customers in the organization, they might place demands on the organization which would lead to a commercially untenable situation. So this is a third problematic issue wherein we are seeing that if employees themselves, they are treating out as a very important asset in the organization, definitely that is an important asset for the establishment, for the organization. So we were talking about regarding the problematic issues that can be seen by the service provider. If the service provider is trying to treat the employees as very important internal products, so definitely there can be a certain situation in which we have said that if the employees are being treated as an internal product, and they have to just take into consideration that not only they have to just satiate out the needs and the wants of their external customers, but definitely the internal employees needs to be taken into due account. And the third problematic situation that the organization is facing is, at its extreme, if the employees were to behave as if they were the most important customers in the organization, they might place demands on the organization which would lead to a commercially untenable situation. Now this is in a problematic situation wherein we are seeing that if the employees, they have generated that particular kind of feel wherein they are treating themselves as and so much being important enough that without whom the organization may not run, or they are treating themselves to be an important asset, and they are just trying to misuse out this importance, this particular kind of recognition, this particular kind of appreciation which the employer are trying to give to them. So definitely that will create a tensive situation in the working culture of the organization, and eventually with the passage of time the rifts and the tuffles will be generated in your working culture. So this is commercially untenable situation to be talked of, and that is definitely it's being talked of in a problematic situation. If we as in a service provider are treating out the employees as an important, we are trying to pursue out the employees as in with regard to following out the concept of the internal marketing. Now further, the internal marketing value and the practices, we are seeing that the internal marketing, it is recognized as an important activity in developing customer focused organization. Research has presented number of contributions by this approach. So, we are seeing that the internal marketing, it is recognized as an important activity in developing the customer focused organization. For the purpose of treating your employees and treating your employees as an important asset, definitely if that particular kinds of sensitivity and the recognition, the association is being it is being developed, it is being generated in the working culture of your establishment, then definitely you should be you should be good enough in your procedural plans. You should be good enough in crafting out your strategies and the pathways, which is more being sensitive enough, which is more being profound enough towards meeting out the expectations, the aspirations of your end users. So, this practice of internal marketing value in the practices, it is being recognized as an important activity for the purpose of developing the customer focused organization, and it is very much being important enough when we as an organization, we are treating the customers as an important assets. Different number of research, they have presented out their contributions through adoption of this approach, that is approach of the internal marketing. They have suggested and they have come out with their own views and the thoughts. The very first as the important role internal marketing can play in reducing the conflict between the functional areas of the business. We have said in our previous discourse also that each and every establishment in the organization, they are having primarily different functional areas to talk of depending upon their number of activities being carried upon, and primarily we are in 4 functional areas to witness, that is production, marketing, finance and HR. So, the important role the internal marketing is playing out is to reduce out the conflicting situation which may happen amongst the different creation and the running of the different departmental areas, because we know that these departmental areas or the creation of the units and the sections, they are working interdependently. So, if that particular kind of feel and association with the evolvement, with the development and with the generation and the adoption of the internal marketing concept, it is more being pronounced in your establishment, then that will lead towards reducing out a conflict situation which may arise with the working culture of your functional area. Now, this is a point which says that what is the importance, that is we are dealing out with an importance of adoption of the internal marketing concept, why it is being important enough if you are trying to follow this practice. So, the second point gives you the fact that here the importance of effective communication to successful for the effective successful adoption of the internal marketing, there is a clear need, there is a need for clear communication of the organization's mission statement. Now, we have already said that for the purpose of adoption of the internal marketing concept, there needs to be an effective communication. They need to have an effective communication on the part of each and every functional area, on the part of the each and every department and the unit and the section that is being created. Each and every employee should know who are their superiors, the people should know the subordinates. There should be clearly defined roles, rules and the regulations. The hierarchical structure should be defined, it should be predefined. So, it means the clear and concise, the clear and elaborate communication should be there in establishment, then only the timely decision process may happen in case of the emergent situation. And we are the management students, we are the commerce students, we know that in case of the timely decisions, the undue, in the case of the emergent situations, the timely decisions should be taken due care of. Sometimes we are moving for the informal communication, which is in the form of the grapevine communication. That is also an important aspect to be taken care of, because working on within a set defined rules and the regulations, sometimes it hinders on the productivity of the organization. So, this informal approach and the grapevine communication is also very much being needed enough to enhance the productivity and the growth factor of your establishment. Now, the third important point, highlighting out the contribution, highlighting out the importance of the internal marketing, it says that here the contribution the internal marketing can make towards facilitating a spirit of innovation within the organization. We know that in this competitive scenario, each and every organization, they need to have that particular kind of creation and innovative factor in their procedural plans, the drafting of the rules and the regulations. And it is an important need in today's competitive scenario that until unless we are creative, will not be innovative. So, that fertile bent of imagination that transformation, that dynamism, that acting as a catalytic agent at certain point of time has to be there in your working culture, in your drafting of the procedural plans, in the formulation of your policies, in the process, in the sequence of events that you are trying to formulate upon. So, that particular kind of creation, that particular kind of thinking of out of the box is one of the, I mean, they are the important ingredients towards making out you to come out with a uniqueness factor, to come out within a distinct kind of way, outsmarting yourself from the competitors. So, the contribution of the internal marketing, it can be a way towards facilitating a spirit of the creative factor, generating a creative factor, and definitely if you are creative enough, the innovative factor will automatically come into play. The fourth point, highlighting out the importance. Here we are seeing that the fact that internal marketing is the most successful where there is a commitment at the highest level, where all the employees cooperate and an open management style exists. We are seeing that the internal marketing is the most successful where there is a commitment at the highest level, where all employees cooperate and an open management style exists. So, the commitment at the highest level, it means the people who are holding out the topmost position, who are working at the CEOs, who are working at the as an chief managing officers, who are working as an management directors, who are working as an I mean general managers. They are the people who are holding out the strategic positions, who are very much being sensitive enough. And here we are seeing that the internal marketing, it is the most successful with which for those organizations wherein the sensitivity and the critical aspect is being taken care of by the highest authority working at the top level, where each and employee, and then they will be generating out that feel that each and every employee are taken due care of, and all the employees, they will be working out in a cooperativism and in a coordinated way. So, we are seeing that where all employees, they cooperate and an open management style system exists. There is a clear cut defined rules and the regulations, no autocratic structure is being seen, the bureaucracy is there, the democracy is there, the employees are having a free working culture, but that freedom is like definitely that should be within a certain kind of specified norms and the regulations, but they have a proper liberty and autonomy to work upon in their own, I mean by using out their creativity and innovative, they can be free enough to use out their jurisdiction and to come out within a unique kind of way, which is very much being favorable enough towards enhancing the growth and the productivity of the organization. So, this is also one of the important aspects that is being seen if the organization is trying to go in for the adoption of the internal marketing concept. Now, the last point, it says that the role of the internal marketing approach can play in giving the organization a competitive advantage. Definitely, we are surviving this competitive scenario, we are surviving this dynamic environment, wherein at each and every point of time we are experiencing certain kind of transformation. The transformation which may be in the form of the internal variables, definitely the internal variables, they are within the control of your organization, but the dynamisms, the transformation, the challenges, the revolution, the changes that are more being prominent enough in the case of the external decisional area. So, the role of the internal marketing approach, we are seeing that here by going for the adoption of the internal marketing, the organization may come out with adoption of such a strategy wherein they are coming out with a uniqueness, wherein they are having outside certain kind of distinctness to get themselves outsmart with the competitors. Moving on with the next slide. Now, this slide says that working towards increased job satisfaction of the employees. How? By adopting the concept of the internal marketing, the more job satisfaction you as an employer, you can be able to inculcate, or you can be able to give a more satisfying culture, a more conducive atmosphere, a more amicable atmosphere in your establishment, so that the people working in any of the capacity and any of the role, they are working in a very cohesive way. So, working towards the increased job satisfaction for the employees, we are seeing that the internal marketing has a basic premise which focuses on the satisfied employee will lead to a satisfied customer. Therefore, it is necessary to increase the job satisfaction of service employees. To enhance the job satisfaction, the manager should highlight the following 5 policy issues. We know that we have previously discussed out the fact that if your employees are being gratified, the concept of the internal marketing, it lies on the fact, on this premise only, on this basic edifice only, that if your employees working in any of the capacity, if they are being gratified, if they are being satiated enough, definitely they will be working out wholeheartedly. That cooperatism, that team spirit will be inculcated out in their working culture, and they will be just boosting up the growth and the prosperity of the organization, because if they are being gratified enough, that will be reflected enough, their working procedure, their gratification and their level of commitment, their level of such optimization will be reflected enough in the working culture of their it will be reflected enough in the working culture, in the working behavior of the employees towards meeting out the needs and the wants of the end users. So, definitely the customers and the end users will also be satisfied enough, they will also be delighted enough towards consuming and towards assimilating out the services that is being offered by the frontline staff of your organization, or even if at certain point of time it is a back end staff who are playing out an important role towards giving out a greater enhancement to the end users. So, these 5 policy issues to be taken care of for enhancing job satisfaction, and here we are seeing that the service employees with high customer contact need to have a very clear understanding of the role within the organization. Definitely the people who are in direct touch with the end users, they need to have an exhaustive exploration regarding what they have to do, regarding the nature of the core offerings, regarding the behavioral patterns, regarding their psychological temperaments, more to be pronounced in order to have an effective delivery process. Second, we are seeing that the service managers, they are advised to hire individuals who are highly empathetic, that is, they are able to take the viewpoint of the another, either customers or to follow employees. Empathy, resilience, perseverance plays a very important role, and here we are seeing that that the service managers, we are emphasizing on the fact that the service managers, they are being suggested, they are being advised to hire those employees who are having these kind of abilities, these kind of behavioral skills in their working culture, like more being empathetic, more being resilient, more being responsive enough to take care of the needs of the employees and to take care of needs of the customers definitely. So, thinking from their point of view, but thinking from their point of view and then acting accordingly. So, this is what is being talked of as an being empathy. The third, we are saying that the employees need to be fully trained in how to deal out the customers. Definitely the orientation and the training is more being needed enough in this competitive scenario, with effectively dealing out with the customers, with the consumers, because each and every customer and the consumer, they are unique in nature. So, depending upon their psychological temperaments, their motivation, attitude, the beliefs, they have to be very much being sensitive enough and responsive enough to suggest appropriate suggestions, to give appropriate suggestions, to deal with them effectively. All these things has to be taken due care of. Now, the fourthly, we are saying that the clear lines of commerce need to be drawn and communicated with the management and the employees. There should be a clear cut defined rules, there should be clear cut defined demarcations between the superiors and between the subordinates, how they have to communicate the formal rules and regulations, this particular kind of specificity, this particular kind of brevity should be there, so as to have an open communication amongst the employees who are working in the different heads, who are working in the different functional areas, that has to be taken due care of. And lastly, we are saying that the employees must be empowered by the management to do whatever it takes to satisfy out the customers. Now, this is an important and a very sensitive point, wherein we have already said that the people who are working in establishment, they have to be given due autonomy, they have to be given due liberty to work at certain point of time, to work in their own discretion, to provide a greater field, to provide a greater association, to come out with a uniqueness and creativeness for the purpose of providing effective delivery process to the end consumers. But using out the creativity and the innovativity for satiating out the needs and the wants of the end consumers, that has to be pronounced, that has to be crafted, taking into account that their misuse should not be there. Their behavioral pattern, their courtesy, their attitude is what is being reflecting the quality of the services that is being chalked, and that is being figured out by the consumers and the customers. So that empowerment has to be given to the employees, so they can be coming out with the best kind of ability. But at the same point of time, it has to be seen by the organization that this undue liberty, this undue autonomy should not be misused. So this is all about in today's discussion, that is a more elaborate view of the internal marketing, and I hope that you all have understood the concept of the internal marketing, which is very much being important aspect and being talked of as an important ingredient of the holistic marketing concept to outsmart the competitors and to come out within a unique kind of image in this competitive scenario. So till then, stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you all for joining.